In this video, we're going to take a look at two-way tables. So in my example, I have the two-way table below shows degrees earned in thousands in 2009 and 2010. And down the side of my two-way table, I have all the different types of degrees: associate degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, professional degree, and doctorate degree. And across the top, we have it broken up into female and male. So this two-way table shows all the degrees earned and how many by male and female. And we're going to be asked a series of questions about how many degrees were earned and the probability of earning that type of degree. So what I'm going to do first is add up all my columns and all of my rows, because the first question says how many degrees were earned in 2009, 2010. And we can accomplish this by either adding down both columns and then totaling the two numbers, or adding across all the rows and then totaling the numbers. But you're going to end up needing the totals for a lot of the questions that follow. So what I like to do is just find all my totals for my rows and columns first. And then we'll put the total down here in this far bottom right corner. So 447 plus 268 is equal to 715. And 715 represents the total number of associate degrees earned in 2009-2010. For bachelor degrees, we have 945 plus 651 is 1596. For master's degrees, we have 397 plus 251, and that's 648. For professional degrees, we have 49 plus 44 is 93. And then for doctorate degrees, we have 26 and 25, which gives us 51. And then if we add down the columns, for females, we have 447 plus 945 plus 397 plus 49 plus 26. And that gives us 1864. And when we add up the male column, we have 268 plus 651 plus 251 plus 44 plus 25, and that gives us 1239. So what this is telling us is in 2009-2010 there were 1864 times 1,000 degrees earned by females, and in 2009-2010 males received 1239 times 1,000 degrees. And if we add the columns together, or if we add all the rows together, we get 3103. So when it asks how many degrees were earned in 2009-2010, we found that it's 3103. And then we have to remember that this is in thousands, so it's times 1,000, which is equal to 3103 and 3 zeros. So there were 3,103,000 degrees earned in 2009-2010. In B, it says how many degrees were earned by men. So if we look at our men column, go down the male column, we found it was 1239 times 1,000, which gives us 1239 and 3 zeros. So we had 1,239,000 degrees earned by men. And now it says, what is the probability of degrees earned were by males? So we want to take and put the total number of degrees earned by males in the numerator, so 1,239, divided by the total number of degrees earned, which was 3103. And when we divide these, we get 0.399. And remember, we were asked for a probability, so we're going to leave it in a decimal. If you were asked for a percentage, then you would multiply it by 100. So 0.399 is the same as 39.9%. In D, it says what probability of degrees were earned by masters. So we go to our masters row, and we go across, and there were 648 earned, divided by the total number earned, And when we divide 648 divided by 3103, we get 0.209. In E, it asks what is the probability of degrees earned were by women and bachelors. So we need to satisfy two things. We need to be in the female column, and we need to be in the bachelor row. So we have 945. So 945 degrees were by women and a bachelor's degree, divided by the total, 3103. And when we divide this, we get 0.305. And now we have what probability of degrees earned were by men or doctors. And now we have an or instead of an and. So now we're going to go to the male column, which is 1239, so every one of these numbers. And then we also have or doctors, so we could have or doctors. And you have to be careful not to double count the value that's the and value. So here you can see that we have highlighted in yellow and green this 25, so we don't want to double count that box. So we have 1239 that were male plus 26 that were female doctors that we need to include. So this is 1239 plus 26 divided by the total number, which was 3103, and that gives us 1265 divided by 3103, and that equals 0.408. Another way you could do this, if you didn't want to look at the male column and add the one value that wasn't included, is just add all the numbers that are highlighted. So, and just make sure again that you don't add 25 twice. And that's our video on two-way tables.